Daniel here from JCAD Pictures, and this is my evaluation question 6. What have you learned about technologies from the process of constructing our film opening? Well, I'm going to start off with the program Adobe After Effects. We will learn that you have to use After Effects to make professional and just generally more high quality films. Here are some samples of where we used After Effects in our film opening. As you can see, the use of it at the start, when we have our brand intro JCAD Pictures, looks very appealing due to the colours used, which are bright but not extremely over the top like bright pinks and yellows. Then let's compare the ending of the film title from our preliminary task where we didn't use After Effects compared to our final film where we did. In the preliminary, it is bland and very basic, which isn't very appealing to an audience. Whereas our final film, our final title in our final film is more colourful and has effects on top of it, so that it looks more appealing. So from this I have learned that After Effects can be used to make more complex titles which look more professional and therefore make our film opening better due to this being a more appealing effect. It's important to have titles that match your film. That's why we had a fancy handwriting font, because it's parallel to our orchestrated music. If you have titles which do not fit, it makes your film look like you haven't thought about it and might confuse the audience on what sort of film they are watching. The next program we used was Adobe Premiere Pro. I have learned that Premiere Pro is essential when it comes to making any form of video that is well edited and therefore nice on the eye. We used a distortion effect in our final film here. Because of this effect, it adds an idea of confusion into the scene, aiding the idea that the biker isn't meant to be in Jason's flashback, and also makes the biker seem to have more power due to causing Jason to question what is going on. Then we also have the sped up zoom shot. Having shot meant for one, it enhances the idea that the antagonist is strangely intimidating and menacing, along with the idea of the strange effect he is having on Jason. Then we had the quick ups to black. This effect helps aid the fact that Jason is fainting. Because of Premiere Pro, basically we can put our film together and shorten our camera shots as well and add effect to aid which is on screen for the audience so they understand what we're trying to get across. Then we used the camera we used to film our film was the DSLR camera. We learned that to get a crisp HD footage we need to use a DSLR. We used a DSLR camera for all our shots in our film opening. Due to this, our film looked very professional, and I have learned that a DSLR is a good size and weight to be held for continuous shots, compared to a phone camera, for instance, where the quality might not be as good. The only problem with the camera is the sound quality. It is quite crackly and loud for no apparent reason, at least what I could think of. And when we seemed to place a mic on it, it still didn't seem to fix the problem that greatly. Anyway, the actual hardware we used Max to run all the Adobe software on. Because of the Max having a good amount of power, this meant rendering our film, like from Premiere Pro or our titles from After Effects, was done in a matter of minutes, and therefore this made our production process a lot faster. And this meant if we saw a mistake, we can go back and fix it without worrying about an absurdly long time for render. Due to this being an Apple product, we could link our iPhones and iPads to it with such ease because the files are instantly transferable and compatible. The reason we use such iPhones and iPads is because when doing blog posts, it could be time consuming to set up a DSLR camera, as well as previously mentioned the sound quality. Personally, I recorded on my iPhone, which gave me a crisper sound quality, which made the post more bearable to edit and well to listen to for you, the examiner. And then the last two softwares we use are to do with music. We use two different softwares to make attempt to make music, but we only decided on one in the end. But the software we didn't use was GarageBand. The problem with GarageBand is all the instruments and sounds are set in blocks of music to put into the score, so there isn't much in-depth control over how you wanted the film to sound. And because music's one of the most important aspects of a thriller film, creating suspense and tension, you want to make sure it sounds nice and like crisp, you know. But a positive about GarageBand is anyone could use it, so like the people in our group who weren't musically talented knew how to make music in that. But then we decided to use a different software called MuseScore. This program gives you thousands of different instruments, and you can compose the music completely from scratch, writing the score and everything, picking the pitch, the tempo. And obviously the problem with this is it takes musical knowledge of sheet music, whereas GarageBand doesn't. Luckily, we had Anthony in our group, who has got quite a good grasp and knowledge of music, sheet music and all types of music, so he managed to make his music for our film very well.